Yo, what is Dubs Mind here, and today we're doing the game preview against the Thunder. But before that, this is a pretty big news that isn't Warriors related, but still is pretty big in terms of NBA, so I'm going to talk about it. Mavs relieve Nico Harrison of his role as GM. Finally, it happened. Surprised, it didn't happen much earlier, but I think if they did it much more earlier, it's technically telling to the fans that, like, oh yeah, we screwed up. So they don't want to do that as soon as the trade happens. So I think that's why it took a little while for it to happen. But so he's finally gone. So it says Michael Finley, McRiccardi as co-interim general managers, as they'll conduct a search for a permanent replacement. And yeah, I mean, this is crazy. I did know that Luka was important to the fan base, Harrison said during the season in a news conference in late April. I didn't quite know it to what level. Are you serious? Like, you were there since, what, 2021, right? I said? Like, ain't no way. Yes, it's 2021. Ain't no way you didn't know that Luka was so big to the goddamn team. Like, what? I originally genuinely believed in the kind of like conspiracy theory fact of, like, Adam Silver forcing him to trade Luka so then the Lakers can stay relevant, and then with the Lakers being such a big name, and then in return they get the first overall pick. I'm still like believing in it a little bit from what I've been seeing recently with like the owners and like of the Mavs and Patrick Dumont and people like that. I do partially think it was a decision that was made under the owners, and Nico is technically the scapegoat of it. Like, I think there is so much conflicting factors, so it's kind of hard to say obviously what's true or not. But I do think Nico might have gone scapegoated a bit, and it might have, and at the same time, I don't think there's a chance that I just don't think it was necessarily Adam Silver doing it per se, and it was just Patrick Dumont being so stingy with his money that he just genuinely didn't want to pay Luka the supermax. And as new owners, which came in, I think if I'm not missing, after Nico Harrison got hired, they probably have the least ties with Luka, especially when you consider the higher up power, people in the staff of the Mavericks. I mean, it's not necessarily staff, but just I think they are probably one of the most least connected with Luka, and I just think that's also one of the reasons why they really didn't care about having to trade Luka. Because if you trade Luka, you can save so much money, and there's whole apparently talk about relocation with the Mavericks because Patrick Dumont is like related in owning like a casino or something, and he's like openly talked about wanting to expand that venture or something along those lines. Again, don't quote me on it, but that's what I've heard, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe, again, I wouldn't be surprised if if the trade was mainly just due to Patrick Dumont just being lazy, or not lazy, but stingy with his money and greedy, and just wanted to use Nico as a scapegoat. But again, like, I'm not surprised. I won't be again surprised if Nico was the decision maker behind it. It goes both ways in my opinion, and then also the conspiracy theory fact about Adam Silver too. Like, all three of those scenarios, I still can believe in. I just think the other scenarios besides the Adam Silver one has become much more stronger as a possibility compared to how I was feeling about those different theories, like, a few months ago when the trade actually happened. So yeah. Definitely, though, this was coming. Even if they played well, I feel like during the start of the season this year, let's say, unless they were playing like literally like 12-0, better than OKC type record, I think he still would have been fired. I think the fact that they played terribly is definitely the nail in the coffin, but I do think even if they went, I don't know, like 8-5 or something, where they're like just or actually that's not too bad for early in the season. I would say maybe like 8-6, where they're barely above 500. I still think the trade would have happened. Like, he had to have the team performing at like a winning percentage of like 70% at least in order for him to continue his job. But yep, he got fired. So we'll see what happens, honestly, because the Mavs look terrible right now. Clay looks super washed. Anthony Davis got injured, and he's not washed, but he doesn't look like himself or the best of himself. Cooper Flag is struggling a little bit, but it's not mainly his fault, really. Having to take on the ball handling duties, and Kyrie's not coming back for another, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, right? So we'll see what happens with this team, man. I would not be surprised if this team just blows it up at this point and just trades AD, trades Kyrie, and just rebuilds around, Cooper Flag. Very interesting to see what's going to happen for the future of this team. But yeah, that's the one big news. No Warriors news really. So that is gonna be all we'll talk about. And now let's get into the game preview against the Thunder. So recording the day of, it's at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So we won the Pacers game, which is nice, finally, and it was like a blowout win. Apparently, it's like the biggest blowout win without Steph Curry since like 2000, like the early 2010s or something, which is very surprising. But yeah, the matchup predictor, I hope that was made with the fact that Curry wasn't playing. Because if this is the percentage with Curry playing, okay, I'm sorry, ESPN, you guys kind of suck. Because I do think OKC is good. They have a very, very deep team. But I also checked their schedule. Their good record right now is not super duper like showing of how good they are as a team. I feel like they still are good. I still think they're gonna be the first seed, but I'll just talk about this later. But I do think this should maybe be more like, I don't know, 60 to 40%. I feel like, especially since Steph is back. But yeah, let's look at the injuries. So Al Horford's listed actually. So he's out against the Thunder with his toe injury. Oh, so he's out. Oh, it's against San Antonio tomorrow. Oh my God, this is a terrible. Dude, I swear. First of all, screw the NBA with all their back-to-backs for the Warriors schedule this early in the season. And then also we're playing against Wemby tomorrow. Oh my God. But I guess it makes sense having Al Horford for Wemby is more necessary. I feel like Alex Tuhi. Oh, it's a game time decision today actually. Yeah, I mean he wasn't listed on the injury report 5 days ago for that Denver game, so. You know, he probably won't be playing anyways, but he's gonna probably be available. And then DeAndre Minton's still out, obviously. Let's see, Cameron Williams out, Lou Dort out, Aaron Wiggins out, Jalen Williams has been out already, so yeah, he's out, and Nikola Topic. Oh wow, I didn't even know that he has. Wow, he has cancer, really? Oh, that really sucks. I did not know that. Well, I hope he recovers great, well, because I did not really know that. Yeah, it seems like stuff is progressing well for him, at least right now. But yeah, like I really hope he recovers. Just like, man, that does really suck. So yeah, that's not what I expected when I was looking at this, but yeah. And then I don't think there's anyone else for the Thunder. Alright, Thomas Sorber, yeah, he got an ACL injury, so yeah, that sucks too. But yeah, I don't know how much of these players were already out beforehand, or if which ones of these are newer injuries. But we'll just see what their roster looks like. But yeah, from the previous games. But let's just get into our usual basketball reference. So let's get their most recent game against Memphis. So. Yeah, I mean, Lou Dort didn't dress in this game, but I think this means he was available? I forgot what did not dress specifically means when it comes to this, but yeah. So honestly, those players being out really doesn't affect it too much. So it's basically just gonna be probably the same players, and I mean they beat the Grizzlies with this team, so with this roster of players, so they're pretty good. I'll say that for sure. Obviously the Grizzlies aren't the best team ever, but that's the thing. I just want to look at this is that they really haven't had that hard of a schedule to really say I would say their good wins was against the Rockets, which went to double overtime, and also against maybe the Grizzlies or the Clippers, but the Clippers is 3-9, and Grizzlies, have their whole turmoil with Ja. So, and then you look at the other teams like Pacers, they don't have most of their roster right now. Hawks, they kind of suck right now, pretty surprising team that really sucks right now. Dallas Mavericks, like we just talked about. Kings, they're the Kings, obviously. Wizards are rebuilding. Pelicans, they are in forever purgatory. And then they lost against the Trailblazers, which is another of the few teams that I would say was a good team. Again, I wouldn't say they're a good playoff team, but they're a good, surprising young team, and lost against them. And obviously, Kings are Kings, and Grizzlies with Ja and whatever. So again, I don't want to hate on the Thunder because I genuinely do think they're just going to easily be the first seed again, and they'll probably be the far away favorite for the championship. It's just their record looks really good, but when you really take a deep dive into their schedule, against the other teams that they play, they're not against that much good teams. And I get that they're doing this with an injured roster, which is super impressive. And that's why I say that by the end of the season, though, I think they're going to be the first seed and be, a landslide for winning in a landslide for the championship because they're probably going to get all their players back. I just think for this game specifically, with all the players they have out right now, and the fact that this is their opponents that they face with their record, I think that's why I said the percentage should be more like 60-40. I think we should get a little bit more credit. And if I'm not mistaken, like last year against the Thunder, we were like 2-2 or like 3-1 or something. Like we I don't know, Thunder we actually don't play against that badly or poorly. I'm just gonna look it up right now. Yeah, see, like we only lost one game against OKC, and I get that they had injuries during that time too, and Chet was one of the guys that was injured. But it's kind of a similar situation right now for the Thunder, where also right now they don't have Jalen Williams, but they have Chet instead. So I think we might do pretty good, because again, we had 2 wins and the 1 loss was a 4-point loss. So we always played well against the Thunder. I mean, I think one of the games Shea wasn't playing, so I don't want to take too much credit for that. But still, like, I think we're gonna do pretty solidly. It's kind of funny that Dennis Schroeder's here, and it makes sense because he was playing in all these games, I think. So yeah. So again, that's why I think I'm pretty positive about this game, just because again, we're getting Steph back. Whole roster is pretty much back now. You know, Al Horford's the only one that's really not playing. That's only because again, like, he's on the back-to-backs rest. So yeah. But let's look at the team stats for OKC. So obviously, trying to at least say at least shutting down Shea is going to be obviously the most important. So their best stats are, they surprisingly suck at 3-point percentage, which I did not expect. But they have a very good inside game. So locking down the inside game is pretty good. I would say though, we don't want to focus too much on the paint, because again, if they're at home and they start making threes, that's when they can really catch on fire. I would say if there's like an away, if it was home for us and they were away, then I would be like, okay, just focus on the paint. But with the crowd on their side, threes can really bring the momentum back in their favor. So that's that. Yeah, they only average 21st in free throw attempts as a team, but they're 10th in free throws made. So their free throw percentage is insanely good. So obviously trying to prevent them from going to the line is important. But their rebounding. Rebounding seems to be the main thing, I think, for them, as you can tell. They don't actually get the offensive rebounding too much, because their offensive rebounding percentage was 25th in the league. I don't know. Yeah, or right here too, also 20th for just the sheer amount of rebounds per game, offensive rebounds per game. But they get a lot of defensive rebounds, so it's gonna be hard for us to crash the glass when we are on offense. But I would say that's not big of an issue, just because that's not really our identity as a team. But I guess trying to beat them on the glass, I guess typically you would bring that as like a factor of the game when you're playing against a team that that the opponent does a good job at offensive rebounding and you're on the defensive side. But in this case, it's like, yeah, you're probably gonna get much second chance opportunities, so you gotta just make the first shots count as much as possible. And they don't turn the ball over a lot, so that's that. And they steal the ball a lot, so I'm assuming their defensive rating, yep, it is top of the league. So how well can we crack their defense? You know, how well can we move the ball, not turn the ball over, make them play defense, make them make as much switches as possible? How can we swing the ball? All that type of stuff is going to be super important. Obviously, it's important for a lot of other games, all the other games too, but I think for this game specifically against the Thunder, being a very good defensive team, how well you can take care of the ball and how well you can swing the ball is pretty important. Because again, they also are second in the amount of turnovers they average, but they're also 4th in the league in making the opponents turn over the ball. So again, turnovers, just like always with just the Warriors games in general, but especially against the Thunder, turnovers are going to be probably the most important key aspect of the game. And the thing that you can probably go at them is their offensive rebounding. So they hopefully should not get a lot of second chance points, because you're 20th in the league, and also 25th in 3-point percentage. So I mean, if you play solid defense, I feel like today on the perimeter, they're not going to score that much threes, and that can give you a pretty big boost in being able to win this game. I think X factor for this game, I'm actually not saying JK just because Chet's on there as on the rim, Isaiah Hartenstein's there, so it might actually be another game where JK struggles, which sucks because he's been struggling a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't complain over the breakout game, but I think the X factor might be Jimmy, just because as you saw from the StatMuse page that I pulled up there before, I already deleted the tab, so I'm not gonna pull it up, but we haven't played the Thunder with Jimmy Butler last year. And the Thunder haven't played us with. That's also one thing. those three games where it was 2 wins and 1 loss were all with Andrew Wiggins and Dennis Schroeder, okay, and not with Jimmy. And again, I'm not hitting on Wiggs or whatever. It's just like they haven't played this iteration of our team yet, so that's also why I'm a little confident in the possibility that we can win this game today. But yeah, I think Jimmy is going to be another X factor just because, again, of the fact that he hasn't played against the Thunder, and I don't know how the Thunder are. I don't know if the Thunder are able to really game plan for us as well as they have before. Considering, you know, they have the game plan around both Steph and Jimmy, you know. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this game. It's the most excited I've been for a game in about like a week or so, honestly, with how bad the Warriors have been. But yeah, this should be a fun game. If it's like a blowout, I wouldn't be super mad. I mean, I would be kind of sad, but if it's like a close game and we end up losing, I think I might be more mad. But I still do expect it to be a close game. As long as it's a close game and we lose, as long as it's like we played good effort and it was just a matter of Thunder just being very, very good, then I wouldn't be mad. But if it's obviously like self-inflicted wounds with like turnovers and stuff, then I'll be pissed. But yeah, still I'm pretty excited for this game. So yeah, make sure to tune in. It's at 5 p.m. early start, 5 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you wanna. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.